Yes, we are here. I love it when you do the back-to-back podcast action. It's a lot of fun. Let me just rearrange some screens real quick so we can get started in. But I wanted to come in today and talk to you guys about something that I find a little bit funny. And it's hilarious because going to a lot of shows, going to a lot of conferences, being in a space where there is sort of this coaching about content creation, one of the things that comes up over and over and over again, and is if you ask somebody like, well, how do you make good content? How do you make engaging content? How do you get people to stick around in videos? Every single coach in the planet will tell you, oh, well, you just gotta, provide value. And I'm like, all right, cool. I get it, right? I understand. But I think in one of the last shows we were at, every time it came up, I would look around the room and I would see people in the room looking slightly glazed over because it is something that we coaches say on a regular basis that maybe people don't really understand what that means. Maybe you go to shows and you watch it all the time and you really enjoy it and you say you get something out of it, but if someone were to ask you, how is this particular show providing value to you, you might not even be able to vocalize it, right? And it doesn't mean that they're not providing value. Maybe they are. Maybe you just don't know what that value is. If I were to say to you, what type, you say, we'll provide value. What type of value is your mom adding to your life? Like, do you really understand what that is? Could you vocalize that? And a lot of us will get instantly into the feelings words, and sorry, my mouse is being funny. A lot of people will get into the feelings of it all. A lot of people will say the things that they think they're supposed to say. The quintessential conversations will come out, but that doesn't always translate when you're trying to tell someone what to do or how to do it, right? When you ask a parent, like, why do they love their child, they will say what they think they're supposed to say. And reality is, you probably shouldn't be able to explain it. If you can explain it, that's probably a problem. That used to be something that I used to say to my friends all the time. If the person that you're dating says they love you for X reason and they have a definition, what happens if you take that away from them? Like, will they still love you, right? So if someone says like, oh, well, I like you because, you just have this beautiful smile and this, really incredible appearance, and then you get into, a kickboxing fight and you lose a couple of teeth, are they sticking around or are they going to run away? Because they were all about your smile. Your smile is gone now. It's the reason why when, people get into illness or sickness, oftentimes their partners leave because their partner wasn't really about that. They were there for something else, right? So to me, just having people say provide value, I don't think it's good enough, right? So I wanted to try to find a way to put it into some tangible things that you can go and do, some things that you can actually walk away with that would be able to help you, all right? So one of the first parts of this conversation is, yes, providing value is very key to building a strong and engaged audience. It is super key, right? I know that when I get comments on my videos after from people, when they come to the after the show is over, they go to the regular page on YouTube and they type in a comment like, oh my God, I needed to hear that, or that's exactly what I was looking for. Yes, I do understand that I was able to provide that person of some sort of value to them, right? So I really like that. So let's start with some of the places that you should start in a way of making sure you're delivering value. One of the first things you need to know to do is how to identify your audience needs, your audience interests, and your audience's desire. Like, come on, chat, real quick. Pop it in the chat. What do you think would be some of the fastest ways to discover your audience needs, their interests, and their desires? Let's call it their needs and wants. Like, what do you think is the fastest way you can do that? While you guys are popping in the chat, I'll tell you, of course, market research, right? Go do some market research. Use tools like Google Analytics. Use things like Answer the Public, Answer the People, Answer the Public, Answer the Public. Look in the conversations that are going on in social media around that. Okay, look at some of the conversations that are going on in social media around that. That's not going to really answer their questions, right? If you go and you find out what people are talking about, then if your content is in that same level, you can legit answer the questions that people are talking about, right? Roy says right there, boom, throw up surveys. Why that get so small? Anyway, Royce, throw up some surveys, right? Right? Michelle out here snitching the answer. Oh, Kevin too. Just ask them, ask them via the poll. Like some of you guys, you got that community tab popping in your YouTube space. So, go ahead and ask them that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, let me pop this in real quick. Anyway, so you can ask them legit. So conduct some market research, use some of the tools that are out there, check in your social media type situations, do some surveys. Surveys are super good. And you can probably go and find some podcasts that are in your same subject matter. And a lot of podcasts, Katie and I were just talking about this in our show, like before I did this show, a lot of the shows would do these question and answer episodes. You can hear the questions that are being posited by people. So when I'm doing an Ecamm demo and I'm in my Ecamm hat, which I'm not in my Ecamm hat today. So if you have Ecamm questions, Google it. Not today. I can look at the questions that are being posited by people in those shows, and I can say, you know what? This would be a good topic to go deeper on in LGL, even though this is not really a tech-oriented conversation. A lot of times I do talk about creator gear. I talk about things that help creators out, but I might find something that I have to teach you for the Ecamm side that will flex over here. I'll just pick it up and bring it, right? So you can find out what they need and what they want simply by asking, doing some surveys, do a little bit of market research, right? I think those things will help you get really far. Also, look for some patterns, analyze the data, figure out your audience behaviors, figure out their preferences, figure out their needs. When it came time to doing this show, for instance, and there was the opportunity for you guys to have daylight savings time. I said to you guys, do you want me to switch or do you just prefer knowing that it's at a set time, even though your guys' clocks change and my clock doesn't change? And pretty much 90% of you said, don't switch. You leave it the way it works for you. So my clock doesn't change. Rob's clock doesn't change, right? So we're like two of the people, but everybody was super happy with leaving the show here because if we had to go based off of time change, it would require like some other people getting messed up in their schedule. So I asked the audience picked, we ran with that, right? When we're doing days, right? I ended up on Tuesday, Saturday because you guys said that. Like I legit asked you. So you can do some of that. Anyway, I think that's a part that's super important to make sure that you have that part nailed down, figure out, and there. So now let's talk about creating content that is both informative and engaging because that's something that comes up again. These are words that just stated or let me back up a second. Before I get into that, I want to make sure we cover like why is it so important to provide value? Let's see. There's probably about say a couple thousand of reviews about this particular SanDisk 2 terabyte. This is the Extreme Pro. You can tell because of the orange nugget, and it's cut slightly different from this nugget, slightly bigger, right? So there's lots of reviews about this, but the review about this talking about specifically how it works with Final Cut Pro, that is a different value to people from the editing space. If I talk about this from, say, my CNC business or CNC workshop, I can explain how much designs I can put on here, how well this works with VCarve Pro, which is what most of us use to cut, and things like that. It has a different conversation. The language is different, the verbiage is different, the style is different. The terms of art would be different. If I'm talking about this from a photography perspective and using it for, say, something like Lightroom, that is a whole additional different conversation. So there's the reason why you can't just pick a blanket conversation for everyone. It does change a little bit. So in the process of providing the value, you're talking to your community in the language that they understand. You're meeting the people where they are, right? I could talk about that thing for mechanics, like there's a whole bunch of different angles into which I could talk about that device. So this is when you're building that strong audience, because if I'm talking to content creators, and by the way, you should buy one of these things are dope. You're going to have very specific questions that relate to us content creators. So Kevin's going to say, hey, I'm shooting a bunch of content this weekend. I'm going to be going to Disney. And like, do you think that drive is good enough to handle the photos that we're going to take, plus the interviews that Jack's going to do, plus, some action shots that I might take when, my Insta360 doing on one of the new rides they got or something, Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever, and I want to take all of that. Can that all fit on this particular drive, and can I use it to edit the stuff in Final Cut as well as use it for Lightroom? I can answer Kevin's questions directly because it would match Kevin's questions, right? And so that would be providing value to Kevin versus, say, Kevin just watching a review on somebody talking about using it with Logic Pro. Kevin's not logicking, right? He don't make beats. So when he sees the review, when the person starts talking about the speed and how well it works with, say, running proxies or outputting video and posting that video or something like that, it won't make sense to him because that person will be talking about music. So that's one of the first things. So before we get further, the reason why it's important to provide that structure is that you're talking to your audience and you're meeting the people where they are. So now let's get into some tips for creating content that is both informative, entertaining, and engaging. And I might wrinkle some feathers here, but I'll talk about it. If you watch, I'll pick on, again, Final Cut tutorials because that's what we're talking about. I just use that example. And, of course, Matthew pops up. What's up, OB? So back in the day, when we went to go get Final Cut tutorials, basically what was out there was the stuff that was put out by, Videographer Magazine and Larry Jordan. Larry's a good guy, right? A really good guy, and he's super brilliant about Final Cut. But I swear to you, whenever I would watch Larry's tutorials, I had to watch them in like 15-minute segments and stop. I could never sit down and just listen to like an hour of Larry's tutorials. Brilliant guy, brilliant teacher. I met him in person, super nice guy. But Larry talks like this. Okay, so in today's Final Cut episode, we're going to talk to you about using what we call the drawer. Some places call it a bin. If you put the clips in this area, we're going to be able to select an in point, select an out point, and you can drag it directly to the timeline. There's a shortcut. You could just press E and send it to the timeline. Yo, my brain can't do that. And nothing against Larry, but I can't do that, right? But then I get to Serge. Serge, why? He talks at the same pace as Larry, but Serge does it with an accent, and Serge sticks his neck up and he talks, and it's totally different. I can watch Serge all day, partly because the accent has me listening harder, partly because his jokes are a little funny, right? And they'd be like, I'm going to get in trouble. Matt, do not tell me. Hi, this is Serge. Today we're going to talk to you about using Final Cut Pro. I am liking to use this particular plugin from FX Factory. Like something about the way Serge delivers it. Serge has the same basic tone and pace of Larry Jordan, but Serge delivers it with a different so I can listen to Serge all day. I can listen to Dylan all day, either of the two, pick one, slightly interchangeable. I can listen to Matt. Matt talks in a slow and calm voice, but for some reason, it's not monotonous. And again, Larry's a beautiful human being, and I met him personally. He's a great guy. I cannot listen to his tutorials. I just can't. I don't know why, right? I can listen to Mark Spencer. I can listen to Steve. I can listen to Matt. I could listen to Larry. Back in the day, we only had Larry. So now I'm super dope that we have all these other guys out here talking about it and showing it because I can find someone that is both informative and engaging, but they're entertaining, right? There is a certain level of entertainment that comes with this. And maybe if you're having a hard time holding viewers, you might want to figure out how to bless up your entertainment level. Okay, Doc. See? Right? Boom. Who's the best Final Cut Pro tutorial guy? I cannot say not Matt when he's commenting right under you. I got to say Matt, Dylan, Serge. I gotta pick all my guys, right? Because those are my squad. The Ripple training guys are awesome. They do an amazing show. I just switched them to Ecamm, so I'm kind of proud about that. I have been listening to those guys from the very beginning of time, and the fact that I was able to recently switch them to Ecamm really makes me proud because I know if my dad was alive to see it, my dad would be over the moon that like I actually know those guys because when we learned Final Cut back in the day, we did a lot of our stuff through Ripple training when you had to like buy the tutorials right like that. So, and we use a lot of their plugins. So yeah, absolutely love them. So we got again. If you say I got the information right, so I'll pick up my buddy Paul. Paul is up in here. Paul is an amazing appliance repair person, right? Paul knows his information probably better than anybody in the world when it comes to his appliances. Like Paul knows stuff, right? We had a conversation in the gold group in the drop squad and somebody had a thing about appliance and Paul knows exactly what to do, right? I told Katie when she was having problems with the dishwasher, just hit up Paul. He'll tell you the exact right part. If I had to give Paul any critique, it would be now is the time to start working on your entertainment value because he delivers the information is solid, but he delivers it like an appliance repairman. I want him to add a little bit more of his humor, a little bit more of his personality, because I talk to the guy all the time. He has a fantastic personality. He doesn't really show it in his videos, right? So this is maybe you can play around with, be a little bit more personal, show a little bit of yourself, right? Now that Matt is learning to let a little bit more of himself into the thing, coming up with stuff like the Broccoli Squad, you develop, you build your community around it. This is why it's important. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to work on it. And if worst case scenario, get to some Toastmasters, go to some improv class, just maybe take a basic speech class online or something so you can learn how to deliver a little bit more value, a little bit more entertainment. I'm entertaining because I say dumb stuff, like legit. I think I have the experience from radio. So that's it. Now, this one kind of sort of chaps my nads in a little bit because we're going to talk about the importance of authenticity and how to inject your personality in your content. I just mentioned it, but I'm going to actually talk about it. Yes, I'm talking about how to repair Paul, not Paul Duncan. Everybody knows the moderator. Ease up. Ease up, player. Okay. This is probably where a lot of people are going to struggle. You cannot try to be someone else. I could not come here for 1 second and attempt to do a video on Final Cut Pro and then be Dylan Bates. I couldn't do it. I don't have that energy. I don't have a Yeti hanging from the ceiling. God, I want to buy him a new mic. I'm just going to send him a mic and be like, here, take this. Sorry, I'm not going to stop hating on Yetis. You can't be somebody else. Okay, how many people in the chat? Here's a question from a chat squad. All right, everybody, you ready? How many people in the chat have seen a video where someone tries to start their video with, "What's up, everybody?" And who the frick does that belong to? Maybe he wasn't first, but I can tell you who it belongs to now. And I can tell you that every single day, somebody comes up and tries to start a video with, "What's up, everybody?" And you can't. That only belongs to one person. And every time somebody else does it, I'm so irritated. There's one other person who does it who I kind of wish he would stop, but I kind of give him a pass because he's now done it long enough that I think it sticks. But, thank you. Thank you, Tina. Right? Family, no one in this group, please never start a video with "What's up, everybody?" First of all, Peter never should have done that. You're not talking to everybody. When I am doing this show, I am talking specifically to Dina, to Michelle, to Paul, to Carlos, to Brady, to Matt, to the other Paul, and the other Paul, right? I am talking to Roy, right? I am talking to Andrew, talking to Keely, Luis. I'm talking to Glenda and Parker and Gretchen. I'm talking to each one of you people. Michael, I'm talking to all of y'all. But not from everybody. I want you to get the impression I am talking to you and you alone, right? You guys know me. When I go live, I go out of my way to speak up everybody that pops in, right? So when Junior pops in, Junior, Sabu, right? Like Junior's from Hawaii. Junior or Paul shows up, I immediately switch to my Hawaii tongue a little bit because I want you to feel at home. Well, he is at home. He lives here. But you know what I'm saying? I want you to let sure that people hear it. Brady, I wouldn't even start off with aloha, everyone. Just aloha, right? The Ecamm videos, I'm on the Ecamm fam thing because that's what they want me to do. But I'm telling you, it's better to start a video as if you're talking to an individual person. When you say you, it's better than you guys, right? Because you don't know it. You might not even hear it when you watch videos. But the creators that are talking in singular, your brain connects better. Your brain understands you better than you guys. When someone says you guys, your brain goes, they're not talking to me. Because everybody wants to be special. You know what I'm saying? When I do my videos and I have to talk about an indefinite person, I would normally call one of y'all by name. You can go see one of my videos where I talk about Matt. And I will call Matt's names particularly because it's easier for me to get out of the habit of pulling a you guys. And I might be talking to everybody, but I'll just pin the example on Matt, or I'll pin the example on Paul or Dina or Keely or somebody, because it stops you from talking in plurality. People love it when it's more personal, right? Right? Hey, boo is good because it's a person, right? Hey, boo, right? It's a person. Hey, girl, you're singular person, right? Be like, hey, ladies, get funky. All the ladies in the house. Sorry, musical Tourette's. That's different. That doesn't, you're not talking to me. So I'm going to tell you why this makes sense, okay? I tell Dina this all the time. When Dina's doing her show and Baba sits on the edge of the chair and she's leaned in, and she thinks she's talking to Dina. She is giving Dina instructions. She's telling her, do not cut your finger. Pay attention to the knife. She's telling Dina, why are you drinking that cocktail before you cut these onions? You're going to cut yourself. Okay? This is funny. maybe wasn't funny at the time, but it's funny to me because the whole time that she's sitting on the edge of the chair at 76, she thinks Dina can hear her, or she just knows in her soul that if I put this out there, Dina can hear me. So Dina was doing her cocktail because that's her show. She makes her cocktail, she sips it, she's showing the audience, we all got the cocktail thing down, we're all drooling, and then Dina commences to cut onions, and she nicked her finger. And I swear to you, Baba's like, see, I told you, no suck 'em up. Suck 'em up is Hawaii word for drink, right? I told you no suck 'em up. Bombay, later on, another Hawaii word, Bombay is from Filipino, but it means later on. You cut your finger, see? I told you, don't do that. Don't do that. Just cut with the knife. And I'm cracking up laughing because if according to Baba, the person on the screen is giving the instructions directly to her. None of the other 50 people in that stream mattered at the moment. Baba thinks Dina is talking to her. When Dina is outside planting or, watching her bulbs, that's a weird, it's garlic, but yeah, sorry, not that kind of show, right? She's having full ass conversations with the TV. That's when you know you're doing the right thing. When you got your people talking back to you on the TV, boom. And sometimes Matt will do something and I'll be like, yo, run that back. You went too fast. Now I have the button. I have the Siri remote. I can back it up and watch it again. But I'll be yelling at Matt on the TV. Matt, you ran through that way too quick. Run it back. Right? It happens. And every person in here has yelled something to one of the creators on the screen. So if you yelling at the screen, they got you. They're working. So just know that. And you want to create content that requires people to talk to you back in the screen when they're by themselves and no one's looking. All right. So I want to make sure you get those tips. Again, these tips are about that authenticity. And I hate that word with a metric passion because, again, it's one of those words that people say because they hear it constantly. So they repeat it and they don't have any idea what the freak it means. I want to hear from the chat again real quick. What do you suppose being authentic means? Right? Like, what do you suppose being authentic really means? Now, I'm going to check out Junior's question real quick while I wait for your responses. Junior says, and perfect timing on the question, Poppy. Junior says, has your view of the use of live streams for creators changed in the last year, if any? My number one view for live streams is you should be doing more of them because it gives you an opportunity to interact with and build your community. So many people think they'll make the content first and build the community second. I think you need to build a community at the same time you're making the content. I think also, here you go, I think also building the content with the live streams allows you to show people that you're not being perfect, and therefore it allows you to be authentic. It's super crazy that Junior's question rolls exactly into what I'm saying. Authenticity is me doing something stupid in the middle of the live stream, or, like me accidentally putting Sal's comment on and doing something like this and start messing around with it and trying to fix it or whatever, because there's people in our Ecamm group that think that every show is supposed to be flawless. But there is no flawless in live stream, and nobody wants you to be flawless. Matter of fact, we hate perfect people. You guys know all the females in here used to hate on the girl that everybody thought was perfect, and if you didn't, then you was the perfect one and you got hated on. Hawaii, volcanic water, tastes good. Not sponsored. Sorry. Don't you think it's funny in a TV show where they'll like tape up the silver metal notebook with a small piece of tape? Fool, we know it's an apple. Just stop. Right? So I just want to be YouTube compliant. You can tell me that you're a video guy without telling me you're a video guy. Gaffer's tape within arm's reach. Okay. There we go. Is that better? Let me I'm gonna say this in the most meanest way possible, and please don't get mad and just know that I love you. If you do not let go of this, you will suffer. You will suffer immensely. And I didn't even mean to take your question out of order. And I know you're probably brand new around here, and people will tell you I'm the tough love guy. I will always tell you the truth. I'm not going to be like, oh, let me worry about your feelings. I'm not that guy. I will just tell you the facts. If you don't get rid of that, you're going to fail, and it's going to hurt because you probably have amazing stuff to say. And I'll tell you why. I will back this up. I don't want to just tell you stuff without giving you a reason because I'm not that guy. It's part of the reason why I'm doing this stream right now because I feel so many people say provide value and they don't talk about what that really looks like. So, back in our day, right, there were, the quote unquote gurus, right? And a lot of them turned out to be full of crap. And we find out almost on a daily basis that, again, these gurus aren't really what they say they are, right? I was going to start singing, so I'm not going to sing. And so what happens when you find that out, it crushes you, right? And you feel bad. So no one wants to hear the gurus anymore. People want to know you where you are. People want to know Jerry. They don't want to know this pristine Instagram vacation. Look, I'm on a mountain with a no one wants to see that anymore. Those people are mostly getting blown up by the real people, right? When you see the mom got the kid hanging on the arm and she looking wrecked up from the neck up and she's telling you about the stress in life of like being a mom and running a business and doing that all that stuff, man, I guarantee you her audience is now bigger than the person that shows up with perfect makeup every time. Like that stuff has just kind of gone out the window. I made this prediction in January of 2021. More people will start to connect with real people, and I legit watch it happen. So I don't know where I got that prediction from. It just came to me, but Diana and I did a show about predictions for live streaming and content. And a year ago, I said, people want to see real people. Nobody wants to see the perfect, like, cookie cutter. What is that show? Weeds, where they talk about ticky tack. Like, that is over. So, yeah, people want to know the real you, players. So just please do what you can to let it go. I guarantee you your audience will appreciate it for you. Now, here's the funny thing. I've watched a bunch of the put together creators run, doing perfect shows. And then they come in, and I guarantee you, this is playbook. You find the stream where they got fed up with doing whatever it was, and they either just disappear or they do a crying stream and a full breakdown on the internet, which is their most watched stream. And then from there on, they start being vulnerable and their audience triples. It's like there's a playbook somewhere that says you have to do a crying stream once you get to 50,000. I could name you the creators that got a crying stream. So don't do the the crying stream, but just be yourself. And Sal, I forgot to tell you thank you. Good to see you. Anyway, my bad. All right. So Kevin said, be relatable self. Show up on the screen who you are as a person. Yes, because it's really hard to put that on. I'll tell you guys an anecdote after I run through these in the middle. Know thyself. Super important. YouTube has been hyping live stream. Live is live and fun. 100%. 100%. Just be yourself. If you met the same person, oh yes, if 100%. If you meet Michelle in person, she's the same Michelle that shows up in her stream. She is that 100%, and even more so after we hang out at Mr. D's bar. If I wanted to see somebody pretending to be someone else, I would go to the theater. 100%. Dude, oh my God, bruh. I was just talking about this with Karen. I was like, fam. She's like, why that was funny? I'm like, that was the most funny because freaking Den Jorin, he couldn't keep character and he broke the SNL troop. Like they couldn't keep a straight face because he broke character. And we haven't seen one of those since like Phil Hartman or the Sweaty Balls episode where like nobody could keep a straight face. That was so good. Lisa from Temecula was guaranteed one of the dopest SNL skits in a long time because, again, they all just kept breaking the wall. It was super, super good. And I hope this helped you because I'm really, really, I think it's important. And by all means, get at me, talk to me. I'll talk to you one on one and like walk you through the steps. I guarantee you, you'll have way more fun. You'll have more fun. You'll have less chance of getting burnt out. I hate that word. People in this community will tell you I hate that word. I think it's never mind. We won't get into that today. My on-screen authenticity comes in a lot of time. Yes, yes. You. I know you, seen you in real life. You know, broke bread with you. You are perfectly the same you on camera, and I think that is good. Um, oh yeah, you know what? Especially because I like the can. I don't know why. Something about Jason's water is really good with the can. It's super funny. Yes, the no guru syndrome. Exactly. I'm gonna have to start doing that. 100%. 100%. Genuinely authentic. I trade for it. But this is why. This is why I hate that word. People say just be authentic. Family, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this again. If you have to be authentic, you're not being authentic because authenticity you shouldn't have to be. It just comes out. You don't have to think about it. If the thought crosses your mind, you're probably changing something. So you just be yourself. Let loose. Let it loose. Yes, 100%. So Carlos states, many take themselves too seriously. I say that. They need to tap into their silliness that they miss out in our childhood. I say that. It also reclaim your silliness is fun, and live streaming can be a great tool for that. 100%. When we were children's, I was just telling somebody that yesterday. I was the why kid. Why? And from my adults, I got, boy, stop asking questions. Boy, you ask too many questions. Boy, speak when spoken to. Whatever. Luckily, I was hard-headed. We now know that parents should not steal the whys from their kids. But when I was a kid, it was speak when spoken to, blah, blah. The reason why the majority of you guys walk around today claiming that you're shy when that doesn't exist is your parents told you that, or your parents told you not to ask questions, or your parents told you speak when spoken to, or like in Hawaii, we nobi tantana. The nail that stands up gets hammered down. You have all of these things that basically squelch your curiosity. And anybody who's on my email list, I just sent you an email last week about how to bring back that curiosity if you had it snatched from you when you were a kid, right? So we really don't want to do that. We want to bring that back. So I want to give you an anecdote. I said I would give you an anecdote, and I think this is important. By the way, not intended to be a segue, but I'd be a bad teacher if I didn't tell you now. Storytelling, hyper important. If you can learn how to tell stories, find nice, easy, organic ways to bring it in, perfect. This just happens to be, it fits because somebody asked the question. And so I wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here it goes. Here's a little story that needs to be heard about how I was going downtown. Well, anyway, when I was in radio, I was an intern at the radio station. And I watched the amount of people that came in with their demo tape in hand trying to get jobs on the radio. And they all came in with their Columbia School of Broadcasting. Hey, everybody, it is Taco Tuesdays. I am your host, Mr. Moderator, the Paul Duncan. We are going to play two hits from the Eagles coming up every hour on the hour, this hour, right here at KIKI FM, Honolulu, Hawaii. This was all the demo tapes. Every freaking demo tape. And when it came time for me to be on the air, how it originally started was I was just an intern, and my job was to set up commercials, record commercials and edit commercials because I knew how to edit commercials on the computer, and we had just switched from tape editing. So I had a Power PC 7200 that I used to edit commercials on faster than they could do with the tape machine. One day there was a big concert popping off in town, and it was Michael Jackson going to happen at Aloha Stadium, and there was a pre-event, like a news press type thing, and everybody at the station wanted to go. And they were like, listen, intern, because you cut commercials, you know how to play the commercials. Here's all the songs. They're in a stack. Here's all the commercials. Don't say anything for the next 3 hours. Just press the buttons, play the commercials. Press the button, play the commercials. Of course, in the middle of that, something happened. There was like an accident or something that required me to say something. So I go on the radio and I was like, said what I said with they call traffic. They give you a piece of paper. I just read it out. And then the program director, the cruiser, Alan Oda, the cruiser, people in Hawaii know who he is. He came back and he goes, "Man, you're really good." And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You got night shift next week." What? And he goes, "You have to bring me air check." That's what they call the tape. So you go into the room, you sit down, you record your air check. And I would be all like, "What's up, Honolulu? It's your man, Doc Rock. Hey, welcome to KIFM. Today, we're going to do slow jams for the next hours. If you want to hear something, give me a call." I literally sound exactly like I sound to this day. Nothing changed. And I just put it out there. And he was like, "Perfect." And I was like, "What do you mean perfect?" I was worried because I don't have the fancy, like, Columbia School of Broadcasting, like, air check that everybody else brings in. And he goes, "I hate those." And I was like, "Why?" Because in radio, "Hi, I'm Casey Case, and welcome to American Top 40, right? I was like, "Why do you hate that?" And he goes, "Everybody can do that until you come to work the day your dog died, or you come to work the day your girlfriend left, or you come to work, after, some tragedy. How are you going to show up on air when you turn off the CBS CSB voice? How are you going to show up when you're having a bad day?" Because I submitted an air check without changing my voice, because I submitted an air check with just my natural whatever, it's there, right? So you guys have seen me take it to 120 for Ecamm Live 4.0 is brand new. It's still me, right? I'm not doing Ecamm Live 4.0 is brand new. Like, that's just stupid. You guys would see that and you'd fall out your damn chair. You'd be like, "Who the hell is that? That ain't Doc," right? But you've seen me projected at 150. You see me talk about camera switcher, ISO recordings. Like, you see me do that. But I'm not being someone that I'm not, because I don't know somebody else. I only know me. So you really, really want to be like that, right? Because you're never going to be able to put that stupid, obnoxious Columbia School of Broadcasting voice on when you're having a bad day. So I can show up on radio the day Biggie died and do a 5-hour show and not seem weird. So going back to the question about vulnerability, there's another reason why don't try to show up perfect, because then when you do make a mistake, your audience will know about it. If I make a mistake here, they laugh. They just go, "Ha, ha, Doc made a mistake," because they have the expectation that because I'm skilled at this, I shouldn't have any mistakes. But they laugh when I do it, not are disappointed or upset at the quality when I do it. To them, it's more funny because it's like, watching Brady throw an interception. I can't believe I just compared myself to that dick. Anyway, I hate Tom Brady. All right. So we covered like the purpose of building this value. We've covered how to meet your audience where they are. We've covered, being entertaining, engaging, informative. We covered just now this authenticity. Now, let's talk about learning how to optimize some of this for your social media content and help you sort of building your community without force feeding it. Okay, here's where did Jerry go? Without without forcing it, here's why being willing to be vulnerable helps. You can show up in a 60-second clip, YouTube short, and be like, people, I'm mucking about in the studio today. Got a brand new, I haven't put this in yet, right? I got a brand new Camlink 4K. I'm going to connect this baby up really soon. But yeah, it's funny that, a lot of tech has come out. There's a lot of different capture cards on the market. And when one blew up, I'm replacing it with the same thing. To me, family, that's when you know a good product, because I'm going to replace the product that died with the exact same thing because it just works. So if you're looking for a capture card, skip all of those cheap $20 ones on Amazon. Just stick to Camlinks. It's the industry standard. It just works. So that right there, actually, I can clip that out. Let me hit a marker. That is a perfect clip, right? That is a perfect social media clip without overthinking it, without overscripting it, without doing whatever, just me being me and talking straight from the gut. Like, that's a true story. I got a post in the community the other day about some weird capture card, and everybody was like, yeah, I tried them, just get a Camlink. And it's funny because in the beginning, when I was telling everybody that, they were like, nah, man, this was only $20. Camlink's $150. Yeah, because it's worth $150. You know what I mean? So you can optimize for social media. You don't always have to script them all. You can just show up and be you, right? You don't have to bend over backwards to try to make it fancy. All right, so talking to my Broccoli Squad guy again, Matt. So to this day, one of the dopest things I ever... Yes, FJ, my man. One of the dopest things I ever learned from Matt, and I had already been using Final Cut for, I would have called it like 10, maybe 15 years. I've been using Final Cut since version 1. Matt said, open up your keyboard shortcuts and change the blade from hitting Command B, turning it to a razor, and then clicking it to just change it to B. So you don't have to use 2 strokes. You just need 1. And I was like, damn, son. I watched this whole video. He was saying a bunch of stuff I already knew. But when he covered that, I'm like, I never thought about that. And that was genius. That was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, Matt made that video. Matt, you can make that video as a 60-second short and be like, if you're going to start Final Cut today and you don't learn nothing else, do this one thing. Go in there and change your, like you spoke about it of how it works for you. I think you can make that as a reel, speaking about it from facts, because I said so. If you just go and tell people that alone, done. Like, I could do a Final Cut tutorial right now. It's like, I can show you in 60 seconds how to use Final Cut if you don't know how to do nothing else. If all you need to do was cut a video and get it out without knowing how to do anything else, here it is. Step 1, open Final Cut. Step 2, drag your entire clip onto the timeline. Step 3, switch to the R tool, select the parts you don't want, and press delete and export. That's all you need. That's all you need, right? Like, you can literally just teach someone how to, if you, without knowing anything about Final Cut whatsoever, I can get someone to cut a video in less than 10 minutes just by teaching them to use range. And if they took the time to set that B, it would even be better. Those 2 things alone, with just blade and range, the average person that know jack about Final Cut could be editing the first video that same day. Now, you're not going to get pretty. You're not going to know your color correcting. You're not going to fix your audio. You're not going to do your transitions. But if you just needed to spit out a short, knowing how to blade and range is all you need. Everything else we can deal with later when you get there. It's like driving, right? You can know how to put it in drive and take a couple corners. You got the majority of it down. The parallel parking and changing your oil and swearing at people that drive slow in the left lane, like, that comes with experience. Especially that last one in Hawaii. Jesus. So optimizing for social media now, people want it quick. They want it quick. They want it precise. They want it directly to the point. And you can still find a way to do that and add your sauce, right? So when I make a short reel or whatever, like I can still do it and add my sauce. I just made a video like a couple days ago. I'm gonna play this for you real quick. Camlinks fresh out the box looks just like this picture. At the bottom of the Camlink, there's one of these. This is the most important thing in that box besides the Camlink. Don't throw this away. This will allow you to connect your Camlink to your Mac without any problems, and you'll have space. You won't cover all your ports. Now, this one happens to be a USB-A to USB-A. You could always buy a USB-A to USB-C. Make sure that it's rated at like 5 gigabytes per second, just so that you know the signal flow will keep enough power going to your Camlink. I completely messed that part up, and all I did was just chop it in real quick. And no biggie, like it took me, I swear it took me less than 2 minutes to edit that clip. I just threw it together, done. But it works. Like shorts can be just that. You don't have to go like, yeah, I got it. There's people that are trying to do like scripted shorts, and man, skip all that. If you got something to say, just say it. And so the benefit of having your setup where you can just do this, like I can be like, hey, all right, I'll show you another example, real quick example. You guys are used to seeing me sit here and talk to you about all kind of myriad things like Mr. Fancy Pants. But today, I want to get serious with you. Listen, people. You know what I mean? I can just do a quick little camera change and get like deeper in. Like I gotta fix the white balance on that camera. Anyway, you can just get deeper in with someone, or you can just punch in if you only got one camera. Like just don't spend a lot of time trying to make it perfect, right? Just don't make it perfect. But yeah, Matt, definitely recut that blade thing as a short, bro. That has been one of your all-time greatest hits. Recut that sucker as a short and put it out there. And it's out there. Now, everybody who heard me just tell Matt that, especially you guys who've already done that and you copied Matt, and I know you probably did because I showed it to you after he showed it to me, and a bunch of you guys switched because I showed it to you. Check this out. I learned it from Matt, and I showed it to you, but I showed it to you the way that I talk, not the fancy, hi, this is Matthew from Midland Pictures. That was back in the day. I did it my way, Frank Sinatra, and we spread it, right? Give credit where credit's due. I learned this from Matthew O'Brien, but I'm going to teach it to you this way. And then you teach it. And then here's what you're doing. You're being a good citizen of the stream. You're being a good citizen of the creator space. You're helping your community with an incredible piece of knowledge. You're giving credit to the original broccoli chopper, and you tell them, hey, if you want to see some other cool tips, I'll post them here, but you should probably follow Matt, right? All of us, when we talk about stuff, I told you guys last week to follow the two Dylans, right? I told you to follow Dylan Bates. I told you to follow Dylan John, right? It's super important because these guys are dope, right? Just like today, talked about Serge. I'll tell you to follow Serge. When we go in and edit timestamps today, when Paul is done, I'll go put clips to all of them. I mean, not clips. I'll put links to all of them because those are people that you should follow. They're just cool people, right? They're my friends. So when you make a thing, even if you find something dope and you teach it to your people right after, number one, you won't forget it. When you learn something, if you teach 3 more people right away what you learned, you won't forget it. But just give credit back to it. No one cares that you didn't make it up. Matt didn't make it up. Matt stole it from somebody too. So, or maybe he did make it up. I don't know. Either way, just share those videos, do it in your own voice. And that wasn't even an overdub. I did that with my own face because I was in a hurry to get that video out. Those intros were hilarious. Yeah. So again, people, I just wanted to make sure that you got that. And the last thing that we're going to just say is, edit your videos. Just make sure you get your videos edited. If nothing else, and Matt just told you it, man, F your intro. Fam, you guys know it. I've said it 100 times. I'll say it again. F your intro. No one cares. You don't have to tell the folks who you are till the end. All of that old school stuff, it just doesn't work. I watch a lot of pros still do it. A lot of pros are still twirling and doing their MKBHD intro. He can get away with it. He got 15 million followers. You can't. Don't do that. Just get rid of it. Get rid of it right away. So I got a question for you guys before we bounce. Who in the chat is still under that 1,000 and is looking for some cheat code? Who's still under that 1,000 and is trying to get to that 1,000 fast? Like, I'm really curious because I think 1,000 is easier today than ever before. I think 1,000 today is easier today than ever before. So who's still under that 1,000? Let's give you a game plan to walk out of here with something to do to get you to that 1,000 before the summertime. Now let's be real. Some of y'all might not be, I'm going to be honest, this is going to be painful. You might not be good enough yet to get to 1,000. And that's okay, because we all started from somewhere. Like every single one of us started with one. Every single person in here started with one sub. Your first sub might have been your mama. Mine wasn't, right? Mine was one of my friends, but you know, you don't know. Okay, so, all right, so here you go. First 1,000 people. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do right away. Your homework for this week is to as follows. And every one of the people who is under 1,000, you got to pop out a video this week. Somewhere between now and next Tuesday, you need to generate a video. What I'm going to ask of you is do not make a perfect video. I'm going to ask of you to turn on your camera and record a quick, helpful tip around your topic matter. It could be any topic matter. You want to make a quick tip. You are going to record it without a lot of fanciness. You don't got to get super hyper edit. You're going to talk to a single person. So even if you come on and say, I want to make this video for one of my subscribers, Doc. Doc has been, let's see, who did I see in here? Okay, so Mr. Moderator. Moderator got 100. Okay, so Mr. Moderator can be like, I want to make this video for Doc. Here's a good question for him. Doc, did you know that YouTube just changed a lot of things for moderators and moderating your channels doing live streams? These are the updates for anyone that is doing live streams and wants to know about the new moderator changes. The minute YouTube put that email out Friday, your video should have been the next day, Paul. Let's just be honest. Let's just tell facts where facts is due. YouTube changed moderations on Friday, and your video should have came out on Friday or Saturday. You don't got to be perfect. Guys, hot off the presses. All right, hold on. Let me do something real quick. All right, guys. Fix that. I just got something in the mail today, brand new in the box. I have been waiting for this. This is incredible. I'm not going to make a super fancy video or anything. I just want to get this information out because I think everybody that owns an iPhone should get one of these. Some of you guys may have seen in my videos, I always show you the Moment case. And one of the things I like about the Moment case for the iPhone is I'm able just to put a glass protector for my lens. I don't really use it for anything fancier than that. I literally just wanted it for the glass protector to my lens. Well, just like anything else you buy, Moment kept sending me emails talking about so many other things I could do. So I got intrigued by something. This is called the Moment drop-in lens mount. It turns out in the email, they're coming out with a brand new anamorphic lens. And with that anamorphic lens, it didn't ship yet, but it's coming soon. They said that I was going to need one of these mounts. So I ordered one of these mounts, and I was really curious about what it does. So not wanting to mess up this case just in case, I bought another case. You don't have to do that. You just have a standard moment case. So you pop out the ring that's in here and you place the lens mount directly in here. So what does that do? Like, I always see people doing this and I never really tried it myself. I always thought it was a little silly, but gang, look, I'm just taking my phone, I'm putting it in a new case, and look, I get it now. The way this is set up, look, you're going to just take the lens that they have, and it could be a telephoto, it could be an anamorphic, it can be, any type of lens they have. There's a bunch out there, Moment, Small Rig, a bunch of other people make these lenses. I think they're called bayonet mount, but you just take it and you screw it right on here. And now when you see those people with their iPhone with a lens on the front, this is how it is. These drop-in things are like $4, and the case was $19. Probably the best thing you can do, even if you're just shooting, family pictures or shooting something for your kid in a soccer game, get one of these Moment things. I'll put the link down in the description, and just pick a lens, whatever type of lens matches what you do, and you can put this on. And if you think the Moment lenses are expensive, there's a whole bunch of other guys on Amazon that make Moment style bayonet mount or M mount lenses that you could put on here. And again, this adapter was $4 for a pack of 2. Anyway, I just wanted to run that by you guys real quick. I'm doing a bunch of stuff here. If there's particular things you want to see on the channel, by all means, leave me a comment below and be like, man, I've been dying to know about this. Tell me what you guys want so I can make the content that you're looking for. And if you happen to know a friend who's into, say, videoing with their phone and they just want to make it better, send them this video, please, because you sharing it with your friends is the best thing you can do. And I appreciate you guys. I'm going to pop another video up real quick that talks a little bit about this thing. Thank you. That's it. Publish the video. Don't edit anything. Just take exactly that and publish it. If you do that about the stuff that is just in your brain and don't try to be cute and try to do it like once a week, maybe more, I guarantee you, if you stick to the freaking schedule, you can get there by the end of the year. But you guys are trying to get this in focus and learn Final Cut Pro and then learn how to get this plug-in and then learn the color correcting. And I didn't start out knowing how to do any of that jackness. Actually I did. I did it before this, but beside the point. When I started doing it in the video space, I didn't know how to do it. My dad started out with just telling me, carry this around with a knife and never be less than 2 feet away from me. That's how I got into the video production game. My dad gave me this and a knife and says, do not leave my side. And when we started shooting for Disney and working on Pearl Harbor, that movie with Ben Affleck, when we started working on pictures like that, all I did was carry tape, water, and cheese. My dad liked to just eat the cheese right out the telephone, just bite it. And every time he told me, hey, I need you to tape up the BNC cable and go get me a SDI connector. I need an SDI to SDI and an SDI to HDMI adapter. I never, out of pure fear, I never was like, what the hell is that, Dad? I ran over to the box. I looked in the box. AJA SDI to HDMI. Grab it. AJA HDMI to SDI. Oh, F word. Grab it too. Grab the cables. Run back over to my dad. Which one? He goes, the first one, dummy. Cool. Put the other one in my pocket. Connect it up. Tape it to the ground. But while I'm standing there, I'm not plucking my teeth every time a director or a producer or a sound guy said something to my dad. My dad was normally DP. I was just listening and absorbing. And then when YouTube came around, I knew what to do. Why? Because I was tape bitch for like 3 years. I just put myself in the space of people that created. So then I knew what a dolly was. I knew what a truck was. I knew what a jib was. I knew upstage, downstage, behind stage. I knew what BNC, the composite connectors were. I knew what R plus Y plus my B minus C, like, the original form of connecting HD. I knew what all of that was. Why? Just from being around it. You got to do it. You're not going to get good at this if you don't do. You are not going to get good at this if you don't do. You are not going to get good at this if you don't do. Just do. No one's going to judge you. Just do. I can't say it. I've gotten 2 moment miles for vertical horizontal cold shoe. They're awesome. Really, I thought about getting that. Now I'll buy it because you said so. But anyway, it's funny. It was like just there. It doesn't matter if they're not there. Just update the. I'm gonna punch this dude in the damn face. Just update the news. Just update the news. Okay, I'm going to take Paul's excuse right here, and I'm going to obliterate it in front of everyone, and you guys just know that I love Paul. I'm not picking on Paul. So let's read this out loud again. I tried it. The features weren't there. We did a bunch of testing, and we couldn't find the changes to show. YouTube didn't even have an explanation for the changes was made. Perfect. Pew! I'm just going to pick a random. I should have took a screenshot of it, but I didn't. But hold on. I should have. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's do this. January 12, 23. Oh, here's a funny story. Okay, hold this thought. Hold this thought. This is just only funny because it's funny. Okay? I'm not even going to look at this. I'm not going to look at this. But I'm going to just put this on the screen real quick. Because I did a googly search. Right? And let me back up. In the Google search, and here is the December 12th is when they first posted about it. Right? That's really small. Don't worry about it. They were when they first posted about it. Here's a new update right here. We'll go ahead and pop that over. Anyway, I scroll down, and my brain, automatically being my brain, sees a video. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's click on the video. And what is the video titled? YouTube moderator changes, managing versus standard mods. Okay? This lady has 999 subs, but she probably ain't got them either. But you know what she did 5 days ago? Is she made a video. So anybody that goes and does the Google search on that, and she did it SEO for crap. The SEO is on 21, but because nobody else has any content out there, like she showed up in the before the fold, right? Like I have my window truncated so you guys can see, but she showed up like right at the beginning of the drop downs. Because 5 days ago, what did I say? Friday. Let's go. Tuesday, nope. Monday, nope. Sunday, nope. Saturday, nope. Friday, what? Your man was just talking out the side of his ass. And 5 days ago, when the thing came out, she made the video. And she's on the front page of Google. And she might not even know what the heck she's talking about. She's just announcing that they coming. So, Paul, let me ask you this question. When I started telling everybody about the YouTube podcast tab, was there anything about the YouTube podcast tab out? Not a drip. I talked about it for a year and a half. And everybody thought I was crazy because I talked about it for a year and a half. And they're like, Doc, you don't know what you're talking about. YouTube ain't making no podcast tab. You have no idea what you're talking about. You've been saying that same crap for 2.5 years. You made a video about it a year and a half. You made that video about it a year and a half ago. We still don't see it. And then what happened? Boom. And then what I do? Mic drop, player. The information is new. It's just news. You know what the news people do? They report on the news. So it's just news. You don't have to have the feature yet. I don't even have the feature yet. Now, let's run this back. Let's get real cute with it because I'm going to get the rest of this foot up your ass. How many videos can you find on YouTube right now about iPhone 15? How many videos on YouTube can you find right now about Final Cut Pro for the iPad? It don't have to be there. If you're waiting for perfect, you're late. Run this back. If you're waiting for perfect, You're late. I will successfully remove this Adidas from Paul's backside now. And now you now you know what to do, P. It don't have to be ready, fam. You just gotta make the announcement, bro. You just gotta make the announcement because it's out there. And again, like, yeah, like I mean, seriously, like googly search, like straight up, googly search why live streamers need to have a moderator, and you need to put that out there, right? You need to find a way to get yourself into shows like Live Streaming Pros and be like, L, I want to come and talk to you people about the new YouTube moderator changes. They're not live yet, but they're coming. And I think it's better if your community knows what's popping before it just switches and they start crying. Do you think if you asked her that, she wouldn't find you a little segment in her show? I'm just saying, no one's going to come to your channel. You got to invite folks over, right? I have never used osmosis at the club to invite some female back to the crib. You can't. You got to use your vowels. It's the only way it works. It's the only way it works. There you go. Exactly. Went live right after, within 30 minutes of drop in, 18-minute live stream has 32,000 views. Just go. And trust you, it was nowhere near from perfect. If you go back and watch Matt's stream, Matt was having issues that day. But it was the only thing out about the changes for Final Cut the day that it dropped. And it was good. Because he was talking about, he's like, you know what? I don't know this more than you do, but here's the list of changes. Let's go through them together and figure out what they mean. Oh, voice isolation is coming. I wonder what they mean by that, blah, blah, blah. At that time, voice isolation wasn't even baked, and Matt was thinking of the use cases, why this might be helpful. How could you do this? Or what are good reasons? Can it save this? Can it save that? Right? Like, it literally just discussed some changes, right? And even something cool like, Matt talks about his frustrations with Final Cut because it's a program that we love and we want better for it. But Apple is very cautious. We have a friend, right? Everybody has a friend that has the object of their desire that they really just talk ad nauseum about. But yet every time they're in the presence of the other person, they never muster the courage to just say hi, offer them, a cup of coffee or a drink or something, and they just like hide. They're like, can't hardly wait, They don't ever say nothing. Yeah, you don't want to be that person. So if you desire something and you want better for it, you could just talk about that. So Matt did a stream like Dear Apple, so to speak. Come correct with some better audio adjustment. Come correct with some better collaboration. Here's why I'm frustrated. I understand that you take your time, but that doesn't mean that we can't be frustrated. A lot of your tech creators do that. Marquez does it all the time. And Apple ain't gonna listen to y'all. They don't give a shit. But the community listen to y'all because we all do. We all want better sound. We all want better collaborative capabilities, right? We all want better cloud capabilities. So if that's what everybody wants, let's just talk about that. You could make a whole stream talking about bot control and why we're having such a hard time with bots. And these are what you can try to do. It might seem futile, but don't do nothing is worse. So, I mean, you can talk about the state of the onion. Anyway, prime example. Sorry, Paul, you had to catch wreck today. But it's important, fam. It's absolutely important. Just get in there. So, recapping. Let me look at my notes again. Recapping. it's super important that in order to do what we're trying to do, in order to provide that value, that you find out what your audience wants and needs. There's ways to do that. If you need help, reach out. Um, it's super then important that you figure out whatever you have to do to be informative, yet entertaining and engaging. Engaging can just be a hook, right? Engaging could just be a hook, right? Like for me, what's a good, like if I was going to do this video as a recorded video, what's a good hook? Are you struggling with creating your content? Are you tired of asking people how you can get more followers, more views, more subscribers, more watch time on your videos, only to hear experts say provide value? What exactly the hell does provide value means? If you're still confused about what providing value looks like, I'm going to show you today in this video how you can provide value and start to build a strong and engaging community around your video and thusly growing your YouTube channels. Let's get into it. Hook. Just hook. That's engaging. That's called engaging. So you start going down, 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 down. About halfway through, look, there's one more piece. It's super important, but I got to save it to the end. The reason why I have to save it to the end, I think these foundational pieces are core to the conversation. So let me finish these up, and I swear to you, I'm going to give you that last scene, that secret sauce, that home run hitter. Stick around, and you keep going. That's engaging. That's apply the hook. When you fish, right, you get the first little nibble. You pap one time. Don't start rolling. Let it shake a little bit more, and then pap, pap, pap it again. Now it's all hooked up in there, and then you reel it in. Same thing. Make sure you put another hook back in the middle. Right? You know what I'm saying? Me, you, Matt, and Aubrey, we are the fruit farmers. Unite. There's one more fruit farmer in here. I think there's 5 of us. Oh, there's Brady. There's 5 of us in the building today. The fruit farmers unite. You know how it is. So yes, throw your hook at the beginning. Start talking about your content. Hook them again. All right. So my name is Glenda, and I'm talking to you about this brand new, like, heat flexible vinyl and why you want to make stickers on your Cricut 4000. I think it's a 4, but why you want to make stuff on your Cricut Maker 4 with this brand new flexible value. Are you tired of making decals for your friends and then finding out they stuck it on a coffee cup and it's falling off? Guess what? Cricut just introduced a brand new vinyl that will stop that from happening. I'm going to show you how to use it and the special techniques you need in order to cut this now heat strong vinyl. Let's get into it. Welcome to Glenda's Crafting Joint. This is the new vinyl right here. It is 3M341 Orcal 67B. Yeah, the name is stupid, but I'll put a link in the bottom. What I'm finding is that if you stick this vinyl, here's a coffee mug. I'm going to take this vinyl, I'm going to stick it right here, and now I'm going to pour some hot water in it. Boom. And look, it's sticking. It's not coming off. They say dishwasher safe. Manufacturers always tell that lie. Wash this by hand, people. Please don't stick this in the dishwasher. Anyway, when you're cutting this, you're going to have to increase the pressure to 3 because it says that it's easy cutting. They lied. I'm not going to say this vinyl is bad. This vinyl is amazing, but it needs a stronger cutting pressure. And then once you apply it to the coffee mug, right, you might want to set it with like a blow dryer. If you apply heat first, it gives the glue a chance to sink into the small pores in the ceramic, and then it'll stay there. So you set it with a blow dryer, put it on high, hit it for about 40 seconds, and then don't use it, don't wash it, don't ship it. Let it sit on the table for like 3 days. That allows the adhesive to cure, and now you're good to go. It's never going to come off. So I made that whole shit up. It sounded like what I was talking about was real. And I'm not Glenda, right? But if you make videos like that, the people will be about you. I can make a video for every single one of y'all and it'll work. And I don't even know what the hell y'all talking about. I have that level of confidence. So if you're missing that, let's find out what it is that's missing you. I'm going to repeat this question, and we're going to save it for Saturday. I asked this question about July of last year. I'm going to ask this question again. And if you're a Drop Squad member, Meet me in the after show. Let's speak about it. You should write this question down, and you could posit this question to yourself like once every couple weeks. What are you doing right now that's keeping you small? I'm going to leave you with that thought. What are you doing right now that's keeping you small? Michelle, I don't mean the fact that you're 5'2". She's going to punch me. She's going to punch me. Anyway, just ask yourself that. I ask myself that question all the time. I double check with me. I'm like, me, what? What are you doing that's keeping you small? Why are you always asking stupid? Why are you always bringing up old shit? You know, like I ask myself that all the time. What are you doing right now that's keeping you small? It's a good question. And you need to punch through that. And then ask yourself again a little bit later. You'll find out. And each one of these is going to give you like another step, and then another step, and then another step. And the next thing you know, you popping off. You up in the club, doing your thing. You all right? All right, let's go. All right. One last thing. Quick reminder. Woo! We got this right here. Coming up for you on February the 25. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Saturday, February 25. At least Brady is honest. Hold on. I just got to put that. At least Brady is honest. I appreciate you, Brady. That's your good Christian upbringing requires you to be honest. Anyway, we're doing this Mac OS for Creators Workshoppy. If you are a Drop Squad member in any way, shape, or form, gold, silver, or bronze, you can come to this workshop. So please, nobody ask. Please, nobody tell me that they didn't know, they didn't RSVP. It is in the Drop Squad chat. Go press the RSVP. Show up. This one for the Drop Squad is going to be free. When I redo this class, for the public, it ain't fitting to be free. So, Drop Squad, don't miss out. February the 25 at 11 a.m. That's 8 a.m. pissed, and that's 6 a.m. for me. So I'm going to be up. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be grouchy, but we fitting to do this. And Glenda, I don't know. Should you have Ventura installed? Ventura came out 6 months ago. Yes, you should. And look, the logo right there is legit a Ventura logo. So I'm going to say yeah. Unless you want to have to know how to extrapolate everything backwards, which is possible. Maybe you have a machine that can't run Ventura, which is possible. But if you don't have the ability to extrapolate the knowledge of Ventura and take it back to Mojave, then I would suggest you have Ventura installed. Hence the logo in the picture. And, of course, free flow. So there's that. There's that. All right, gang. I will see you on the flip. I'm going to be in the Discord real quick. Pop in for a little after show action. It's 11 a.m. East and Pist and Hust, Hawaii time. All right. There, Paul gave you guys the Discord RSVP. If you're a Drop Squad member in some way, shape, or form, bring yourself over to the party. And, let's do this. So, other than that, I'll see y'all one more again. I'll see y'all on Saturday, and I appreciate you. If you want to dig in a little deeper, you got some questions about how to get off the snide, you know how to do it. Go to createbetter.life, book yourself a session. Skull. What's up, fam? Good to see you, D. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Love you, mean it.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine, how I love the city of mine.